Hey guys, Sophia here with turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com, and I'm back with another video. Today we are talking about the 2022 Olympia Bikini results, which was quite possibly the most surprising results of the entire weekend. What an amazing top 5. This was spectacular. Like, I jumped out of my seat. Unreal. And I just wanted to do a quick thank you to everyone who tuned in to my live stream with bodybuilding.com. We talked about our bikini predictions. I really appreciated all you guys commenting and logging in, and I don't think anybody could have predicted this. This was crazy. So, in terms of next year's Olympia, I have a question mark here because I'm not certain that the rules are exactly the same, but I'm presuming they are. So the winner's going to qualify for Olympia. Second and third place also would qualify. And then fourth and fifth receive a lot of points. And here we have the scorecards. What an amazing group of women. So many competitors from all over the world. It has been so exciting watching bikini all year long. And this is the epitome. But now we have to narrow it down to that top 5 because those are who get the points. So in first place, Maureen. Second, Jennifer. Third, Ashley. Fourth, Deraja. And fifth, Laurelie. Now, if we look a little bit closer at the points, you can see that there was a little bit more of a closeness in the score between Maureen and Jennifer. So not an overall unanimous decision, but still a clear win for Maureen. Very, very exciting. Okay, so let's begin with Laurelie in 5th place. Oh man, I know so many of you in the comments love Laurelie. You think you predicted she would win, or at the very least, 2nd place. So 5th was a little bit surprising, but you know what? She still looked phenomenal. She's got the most gorgeous way of moving. She flows across the stage. She just has so much elegance and grace. I think she is extremely polished and poised. She doesn't make any mistakes. She's absolutely flawless. Her hair is beautiful. Her makeup is gorgeous. The suit color with her skin tone, like everything she does is really spectacular. I noticed her S curve. I think she's got a beautiful shape. Lots of width up top, lots of size in her glutes, and a really tiny waist. So that curve is extremely prominent, really easy to see. I think she has quite possibly the largest glutes, certainly of the top 5, very well developed and beautifully outlined. I really like in this transition pose how you see that gorgeous line showing off the glute. And then from behind, her tie-ins looked absolutely amazing. She's got great definition to the glutes. Now, I do feel like she had perhaps a little too much leanness. It's always something that I think is a concern. You don't want to come in too hard. And I actually noticed when she was walking, I could see definition in her quads. And I fear that could be what pushed her into 5th place. She's got an amazing physique, but I think there was just a little too much hardness in her overall look. You know, she's got these a little bit of ribs showing. She's got that leanness in her sternum. And then you add on top of that little bit of extra detail coming through on her legs. And I think it was perhaps just a little bit too much. But with that said, I think she has an amazing hourglass shape from behind, beautiful round delts, extremely small waist, and like I said, beautiful balance. A lot of width in the top to really balance out nicely with the width of her lower body. So I think overall she looked really spectacular. One other thing that I thought was worth mentioning is in comparison to the other girls in the lineup, she could perhaps have a little bit more roundness up here at the top of the glute. I do see that it kind of comes straight and then has that slope, that curve at the bottom. And I wouldn't mind if there was just a little bit more of a curve towards the top. But that's it. Like, I think she's spectacular. And to be 5th place out of this amazing lineup is such an achievement. All right, next is Deraja in 4th place. And my goodness, does this girl ever have curves? I noticed the curves in her quads. I noticed the curve of her glute. That is exactly what I was just talking about, where the roundness begins right here by the strap of her suit. And then we have curve to her hamstrings. Just overall, her delts are really curved. She even has quite a bit of curve in her arms. So you see this beautiful shape where the delt comes in to her arm muscles. So not only does she have that gorgeous S shape to her back, but she has all these individual areas with beautiful curves. And it just has such a gorgeous overall appearance. I think she's got really lovely presentation as well. Those beautiful curly hair. I really like that she's kept it shorter on the edges so you still get to see her delts. That's really important because you need to be able to see the hourglass shape from behind. I was a little concerned that she had maybe too much hamstring definition, but her glute ham tie-ins are spectacular. And even though there is a little bit of definition poking through on her quads here, it wasn't overpowering. Like, I didn't really notice it in a negative way. It's just a nice amount of definition. She's got this groove in her hip, a little bit of outline down by her quad. So I think she did a pretty fantastic job. I think she's got really beautiful roundness. The glute from the side really stands out to me. So overall, a really fantastic 4th. Okay, next and 3rd is Ashley. Man, oh man. It's almost bittersweet that Ashley's in 3rd because it's sweet that she's again in the top 3. It is such a difficult thing to do. She's so good. Clearly, she's one of the absolute best of all time, and a 3rd place is tremendous. But it's bitter in a way that I'm sure we would all love to see Ashley once again be Miss Olympia. I think it would just be so spectacular to see her with that crown one more time. So, not her turn this year, but she really looked amazing. First of all, her suit was spectacular. Stood out. It's a vibrant color. It's different than everybody else. And I think it was just eye-catching and looked beautiful. Second of all, her abs. It's the first thing I saw when she walked on the stage. The definition is absolutely fantastic. Beautiful detail right across the 6-pack, but also those obliques are so easy to see. I think she's got beautiful curves, particularly in the hamstrings and the bottom of her legs. For sure, she could have a little bit more sweep, maybe a little bit more like what Deraja has. But again, different individuals. We don't all have to be exactly the same. I do think she's got really nice conditioning at this show. She's got this great groove coming by her glute, really nice outline of the glutes in this transition pose. And from behind, her glute ham tie-ins look spectacular. And yet she doesn't have too much definition in her hamstring. So I think she really nailed the conditioning. She's got that hard athletic look, but she still has fullness, and she doesn't have too many lines showing through when she moves. I also think Ashley has an amazing hourglass shape from behind. She's got these really beautiful round delts. I particularly notice her delts from the front. I think in the lineup, she stands out for that beautiful round shape. Her waist, of course, is so slender, so she's just got an absolutely gorgeous hourglass from behind, in addition to that S-curve hourglass shape from her front pose. Her hair is perfect. It's not as thick and there's not as much hair as some of the other competitors have, so you can see a lot of her shape coming through, and it's cut in that perfect V shape. So it shows off the delts without covering too much. I think it's absolutely spectacular. She has her own way of posing and walking. She's not quite as fluid and flowy as the others. She's got her own little bit of I'd say a bounce to her movements. It's her own personality. I like the more flowy myself, but that's okay. I think she did absolutely amazing. 3rd place, my gosh. Okay, next is Jennifer. You guys, this was crazy. The splitting center, all of the way, the different arrangements of the call outs. Like, I thought she had it. I really did. When I saw Jennifer, the first thing I saw was that amazing shape. The S curve, the hourglass was so easy to see. Her silhouette is spectacular. I love the way she poses. I love the amount of space she keeps between her feet, so you really see the curves in her hamstring, the detail in her back leg. She's up on her toes, so she just looks light as air. She really has gorgeous delts, so much roundness and curve, and then that continues into the curve of her lats and down to her tiny waist and a beautiful glute. Nice curve, again, right from the strap of her suit. A moderate size, right? She's very proportionate, very balanced, and beautiful conditioning. Great little groove here in her hip. She's got the line running down the glute with just a little bit of detail by her kneecap. I think from behind she has amazing outline to the glutes. The glute ham tie-ins look spectacular. There's not too much definition in the hamstrings. Like, I thought she looked amazing. And of course, her whole posing, the way she walks is gorgeous. So I was wondering, she is literally the standard from last year of what a bikini athlete is supposed to look like. So for her to not win, did she change significantly from how she looked last year? So I wanted to pull up last year's picture. Okay, so there's Jennifer when she won the Olympia last year. And I'm looking at the two, and perhaps there's a tiny bit more leanness now. Like, you look here, there's a little bit more of those lines by her ribs. Perhaps you could argue that she's got a little bit more sharpness in the oblique. Maybe this groove is a little deeper, but it's also a completely different lighting. There's a different backdrop. It's a different stage. It could just be the photo is showing her conditioning differently. And in fact, she wasn't that different because it's very minuscule. So then I looked at her back pose. Is that really different? And again, not really. She still has beautiful definition in her glute ham tie-ins, really nice strong lines. Maybe you could argue that her adductors are showing a little bit more here today than they were then, but it's not a lot. And she's got this beautiful sweep both times. So I still see, that hourglass shape with the roundness in her delts. So I don't think it's that she's changed a lot from what she was before. What I do think it is her overall appearance. When you look at her face, you definitely notice that leanness in her cheeks. She doesn't look as full as our first place competitor, and I honestly think that's literally all it came down to, was that overall physical appearance. And I looked at the actual rules. So in addition to the muscularity and the conditioning and the symmetry and all of those things that they look at regarding the muscles and the body itself, they also look at the overall physical appearance, including complexion, skin tone, poise, and overall presentation. And that's where I think Maureen surpassed her. So let's look at Maureen. Here we go. Look at Maureen's face. She looks fresh. She doesn't look depleted. She looks full. Her muscles are round. Her cheeks are full. She just looks healthy. She looks glowy. Fresh was really the word that kept coming to my mind when I saw her. So just like Jennifer, she has all of the physical attributes that you need to be successful in bikini. She's got the round delts. She's got that beautiful curve in her back, tiny waist, gorgeous glute with an amazing amount of roundness, nice size, beautiful balance between the top, the width, and the bottom. Nice balance between the size of her glute and the size of her legs. She's got gorgeous curves to the top of her quads. The quad sweep is just beautifully outlined as well. She's got that bit of definition coming down her leg, outlining the quad by the knee. A little bit more definition you see in the back leg, but not crazy. She does certainly have a bit of rib, but she doesn't have overly too many lines. She's got a smooth, flat stomach. I felt that her skin did look extremely smooth. Her skin tone was beautiful. And then just like all the other competitors, lovely hair, beautiful posing. Actually found that she almost had a shyness about the way that she posed. She looked at the ground a lot, like deliberately. It was very beautiful. She has her own style. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think all of these women were incredible, beautiful shapes, great conditioning. Out of 50 competitors, we've narrowed it down to these top 5. And I honestly think the real difference was just in that overall look. Okay, here's not the greatest picture. It's zoomed in too much, so I'm going to give you another one in a second. But I wanted you to see everybody side by side. And I think here's where you'll see Laura-Lee being a little bit on the lean side. I think you'll notice Daraja and how curvy her legs are. She's got a lot of size. You'll notice how beautiful Maureen's shoulders look. Same with Jennifer. Ashley, I think, has a lot of gorgeous size in those delts. Her abs are really prominent. And then from behind, Laura-Lee absolutely has a lot of size, not only in her glutes, but in her delts as well. Like, she's got this beautiful balance. Daraja, that's what I'm talking about, a little bit more of that hamstring definition, but clearly all of these women are in the top 5. It did not hurt their placings overly by having just minor little things. Now, when we look at everyone side by side, do you see what I mean about Maureen just having this fresh look? She just looks so confident. She's really holding her shoulders up high, posing beautifully. Everybody is a little bit different in their shapes, in their fullness and their roundness. You've got Daraja with these very beautiful large quads. You've got Laura-Lee with those amazing glutes. You've got Ashley with the delts. You've got Jen with the S curve. Like, everybody has something that makes them special. And I think bikini is extremely difficult to narrow down what the judges are exactly looking for. But what they are looking for as of now is Maureen. She is the new winner. So this is our new standard for bikini. So we're wanting that beautiful hourglass shape from behind, nice roundness in the glutes with visible tie-ins, a little bit of definition down the legs, some curve to the inside and the outside, just as we always have. So it's very exciting to see someone new, and like, what an amazing competition this was. So I put the question mark because I'm not solid that the rules are the same as last year, but I believe they are. So Maureen, Jennifer, and Ashley are qualified for life, and Daraja would have 12 and Laura-Lee 11. So that concludes all of my coverage of this year's Olympia. Make sure you go back and look at the other divisions. I have recaps of each women's category separately. Subscribe, like if you like the video, comment below. I expect some comments. And come find me. I'm at turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com, and of course on Instagram at turquoisetoffee.